bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Bring 'em Out with your hosts, Joel Richardson and Alan Hill.
Hey everybody, we're here at the Sunnybrook Ballroom inside the Speakeasy for another episode of Bring 'em Out. I'm Alan Hill, here with SoulJoel himself, Joel Richardson. And tonight we have a very special guest, comedian and much more, Jay Black.
Much more. It sounds like I'm going to be doing porn later.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, it was just. Are we allowed to be dirty on this?
Yeah,
Is this a dirty podcast?
Yep.
I don't want to do a cum joke right away.
Well,
So,
you know too late. Too late.
I'll tell you what, Alan. About 20 minutes in, you point at me and I'll do my cum joke from earlier.
Done.
But I got one locked and loaded, everybody. So it'll
Perfect.
be good.
It's gonna be great.
But by the way, we're 1 minute in. My management just dropped me.
Yeah.
I'm just sure he's watching right now, going, "Oh, I can't. No, not with him. This is
This was a bad idea, and I said yes to this.
yeah,
I love Joel, I love Jay, but not this. Not
I can't
together.
be associated. This is like, I like ham and I like peanut butter, but not in a sandwich. Not together.
And this is one instance where two negatives does not equal a positive.
No, it does not. It equals a bigger negative for sure. But this is beautiful. The speakeasy thing with the barrels and everything, and the piano that's out of tune, way out of tune.
Yeah, but it plays itself, which I don't know why you were playing it if it's a self. Okay.
But
Anyway.
no, but it's still out of tune, Joel.
Oh, right.
And it's just like me. It's broken and it plays with itself.
By the way, we cited this off camera. I've never seen not about to go on stage, Jay.
No, look, guys. This is what I look like. My wife says that when I'm dressed up, I'm like a 6.5.
Okay.
But when I'm not dressed up, I have the highest swing of any human. Like you get dressed up, Alan. You're whatever number you are. You're not dressed up. You're like 1 lower,
For sure.
like 1.5 lower. I'm 5 lower.
Right.
Like when I'm dressed up 6.5. When I'm not dressed up, I'm like, even the homeless people are like, "Do you need money? Are you all right? Because I'll give you something."
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't look good. I apologize. I didn't know we'd be filming. I thought it was just an audio podcast.
Oh,
so.
no, it doesn't matter. I mean, I got gel. No.
But you know what?
We'll start from the top.
We
We'll
need-
edit this in post.
We need filters. I need filters. I want to look better than. Put a cat face on me. Just be like, Jay's a fairy. He's like way into being a fairy now. Fairy comedian Jay Black.
South Jersey's own. You and I met each other much later, but we grew up a town apart.
That's right. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not surprising that we didn't meet because you strike me as a person who goes out and talks to people and actually
And you
interacts.
don't.
I do not.
But you
No.
on stage, that's...
No, but that's the thing. Comics always seem like we're outgoing people.
Mm-hmm.
If I could be done with my show and throw a smoke bomb down and disappear into the night without talking to me. Listen, if you talk to me after a show and you buy merchandise from me, I'm good with you. But if you're talking to me after a show, just know inside the entire time I'm gone, when can I be done? When is this over? I'm just better when I'm...
You were quarantining way before COVID.
Oh, when
you did it. You were a trendsetter. You were way ahead.
So here's the thing. When grunge hit, it was when I was in the 90s. I was a sophomore.
You were in the 90s.
Yeah, right. It was just for me.
When I was in the no one else. It's all about Jay Black,
There's
by
this
the way.
thing called grunge,
pass
which
the rock.
I knew about, and no one else did. But it was this brief moment in 1992 when everybody was like, "Hey, let's be sad and wear plaid," and I was like, "I'm there. I've been there.
My moment has arrived.
Like the whole world met me at sad and plaid." And then same thing happened 2020. Everybody was like, "We should stay indoors all the time," and I was like, "Brother, find me."
Been there, still doing that.
And I'm mad. It's over now. And I'm like, can we go back? Can we have another plague? I'm sure someone in South Philly's having sex with a toilet that's going to come out with a new plague. I'm sure.
They're working on it.
They're working on it right now. They're banging a urinal going, something's happening here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so I prefer being alone indoors. And it's funny because I'll do cruise ships.
Okay.
So I shouldn't brag.
No, I was gonna lead up to that, but you're already doing it.
Yeah.
You've used comedy to spring into other things, like not just performing at the local Elks Lodge or fundraiser. You make a living off performing on cruise ships, and then you were doing colleges for a little while.
I do
and
a
now,
lot of colleges, and
one of your jokes on stage was hilarious. You're like, yes, Joel did say that correctly. I write TV shows, movies. Sorry,
Right.
for Lifetime.
Yeah.
And
Hallmark.
Yeah. And you're like, who writes this crap?
This guy. Because you think you watch those movies and you're like, well, this was obviously written by ChatGPT. Right? There's an AI that wrote this because no human that has ever met other human beings has written this. No, it's me, this guy. I write. And I would say this. I feel like everybody thinks comics are outgoing. And I think that there is, seriously speaking, there's a little bit of noticing things that other people don't notice that goes into this job. Sure. And if there's two types of people in the world, there's the people that go to a concert and go, woo! And then there's the people that sit next to those people going, why are you wooing? and I've always been the why are you wooing guy.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Could you explain the wooing to me? Because
Yeah.
And that, I think, attitude is why, thankfully I'm married, but you single comics, they always say like, oh, I meet these girls and they're like, oh, it's great, like you're so funny, and then they 2 weeks in, they're like, are you like this all the time?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I on stage I'm one person and off stage I'm bitter and hateful, and that's basically the entirety of stand up. So it's very sort of closed off and watching people and sort of processing that in a way that I can understand, which is through jokes and through movies that aren't jokes but feel like they are.
He'll text me and he's in the parking lot and he's like, just so you know, don't freak out, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm just collecting my thoughts. I'll be in a second.
Right on.
So that you don't need to be inside for any more than you need to be.
I feel bad because you make very good friends. I consider you a very good friend. Alan, I don't know you.
Fair enough.
But I feel like we could be good friends.
I feel like we could be.
Yeah, but
we're both loners though, so the odds of it actually happening are probably slim.
But that's the thing that's so great about comedy is that you do meet people that are like you, and it's like these. You'll talk to people like, do you know so and so? Yeah, he's one of my good friends. When was the last time you talked to him? 8.5 years ago. But he's such a great guy. It sort of builds towards the loner aspect, and I kind of dig that. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like some humans. I like you, Joel. This is nice. I mean, I like that we're talking. I would prefer all of our conversations to be in front of a camera, while holding a microphone in front of a picture of you.
And barrels.
Bring him out with SoulJoel. I just dig it.
Yeah, trying to bring people out, man.
I love it, man.
So what you were going to say earlier about when you were doing colleges.
Yes.
And then it felt like you were going to go into a story, and then I said you've used.
Oh no, I was talking cruise ships.
Cruise ships, right?
So when you do cruise ships, they don't want you interacting with passengers.
Okay.
Because
interesting.
Well,
you're like, got it.
Right. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Well, so here's the thing. You come on. Most of the entertainment on the cruise ship is there for 6-month things, right? So they become their own clique. So it becomes like high school all over again. You walk in, there's always the dancers who are all super hot Europeans. They're just smoking cigarettes and looking at you dubiously. And it's like you're an American serviceman in 1942 going through Italy. I'm here to liberate you.
Yeah, you're not going to see them in the buffet lines.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I found out they get weighed and they get charged.
Like old school, 1950s.
Wow.
If they're 2 pounds over or under, because they're sewn into their costumes. So if they gain any weight, they got to get new costumes,
requires
and
work,
they get charged.
Fun.
Yeah. So I get it. You smoke cigarettes, you drink martinis, you hate. That's the 3 things that you do if that's your life.
If only they were eating carbohydrates.
Right? Yeah. Honestly, it's. I've always said this. If you look at the major religions, and I'll get back to my story. If you look at the major religions, all the ones that went on bloody jihads and crusades, skinny gods, right? Mm-hmm. Jesus, Muhammad, skinny gods. Buddha, big fat guy, no one's ever fought and killed for Buddha.
No.
No one.
It's a great point.
100%. Buddha is eating
awesome.
Carbohydrates.
Yeah.
He's eating dumplings. Happy
Never
as can be.
standing.
Never standing. Just sitting, having fun. And it's like, Buddha, should I kill for you? And he's like, yeah, just, you know what? Eat.
Yeah.
Munch.
Let's
munch
break
it.
some bread
Let's
first.
break some bread.
We'll talk about it.
Let's eat carbohydrates
Yeah.
and enjoy. And you look at ripped up Jesus, man, right? That guy hasn't had a single carbohydrate.
Right.
He, everybody, should I kill for you? Kill everyone.
Yeah.
and bring me back their heads. So anyway, I just wanted to piss off Christians and Muslims.
And now it's time to talk about cum.
Yeah. You can listen to Jay now, but then come see him live.
It's
Friday, May 12th at Soul Joel's. Tickets go to
St. Leo's
souljoels.com.
Yeah. We're spiking in China. We're doing great.
We're doing great, yeah.
Not great anywhere else, I'll be honest.
Can you buy a Zoom ticket?
Yeah. Friday, I'm here Friday, May 12th, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Friday, May 12th. Do you want this? You want to see what this smells like? Well, I'll do the cum. No, I won't do the cum again. So you go on these cruise ships. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
And you get these guys, like the dancers who are super hot and they don't want to talk to you. And then you can't talk to the passengers because what they're worried about is comics will go and fraternize with them. And then the people will go, oh no, I've made a mistake, and then they'll get mad at NCL. So or whatever cruise line. So you don't interact with them. And then a lot of times it's you sometimes get like a good friend. Like I had Mike Burton. I don't know if you know him, but he's great. Yeah. So I had him on the cruise ship, and you can hang out. But sometimes you get the guy that only does cruise ships. You know what I mean? Shecky.
So he's not used to like fraternizing or social.
He doesn't want to talk to you.
He's got his thing he does. Yeah.
It's and so now you're trapped on a boat for 23 and a half hours every day.
By
and
yourself.
And you know what? It's lovely.
Heaven for you.
It's just,
sharp left-hand turn. I didn't see that coming.
Just love. Well, so you know what it is? It's like a Twilight Zone episode. You get too much of it. So after like a week, I actually, I get this weird feeling of wanting to see my family and, go back to them. So it's a nice reminder that you do need people when they take people away.
But I get like they don't want you you're a married man, but they don't want you like talking, but talking at all, I'm talking like flirting.
So
I get that.
You can, but
they don't even want to have lunch, dinner.
Well, the problem is I think you're fine if you're just talking.
Okay.
But the problem is when you're out late at night, and you're hanging out and poolside, it can. At what point is it not talking anymore, and what point is it flirting, and when does it? It's just better just not to interact.
So are there different places you can hang on the ship, or they just want you to stay in your room?
Well, so here's the thing: comics are such prissy little babies. It's the prissy babies that have come before me have blazed the trail for me, and it's just wonderful. So on the ships. We are not passengers, and we're not crew. We're this weird in between. We're the only person on the ship that counts in this weird in between, where we can go to the crew areas, but we can't do any of the crew stuff. We can't drink at the bar. We can't buy the crew food or whatever. And we could do all the stuff that passengers can do, but we're technically not passengers. It's just because every comic that came before us cried like a baby and said, well, what do you mean I can't do this? And it's all right, fine, you can do that. So it's just they blaze that trail. So it's this, we are the in-between on the boat.
And how long are you out on a run?
So I'm trying to do less and less of them, but I try to do a week or two at a time tops.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm doing them is because so after COVID, my wife is like, I don't want you to leave anymore. Stay home. And I was like, fine. I'll do local gigs. Thank you. And then her brother got a new bathroom. So then she was like, get the fuck out. Start making money. I need a new bathroom. So I was like,
I was like, what does this have to do with the podcast?
She wanted a new bathroom.
Oh.
So I
keeping up with the Joneses.
Well, keeping up with her brother. So, because she walked around her brother's bathroom, and I was trying to stop her from walking around because I knew she'd see the new bathroom, and then she'd get bathroom envy, and she'd be. So she was like, and then this is what happens. It becomes like, you know how you buy heroin. And you're just like, I just do a little heroin. It's never a little. You're never going to do a little heroin. It's going to be you know. So,
absolutely.
And I'm glad you kicked it.
Thank you, sir.
So it started with the one bathroom, and then it became two bathroom, and then it became two bathrooms with new floors in the top floor, and then new floors throughout the house. I'm going to be on these boats till I'm 106.
Well, I was going to say that's why you're going to be in Vegas coming up.
Yeah, listen to me. Come see my show at Soul Joel's. Yeah. I don't want to go on cruise ships. I don't want to do it anymore. So I wasn't going to do it, and then my wife. And here's the other thing. She's like, these are for us. And I'm like, they are not for us. These are for you. Because I like the old bathroom and the old floor is just fine. And she's like, well, you're going to use them. And I was like, of course, because I can't float. If I could float, if I could passive aggressively float and not go to the bathroom, I would, just to prove a point. But I have to walk on that. And I was like, well, why don't we just buy like a 105-inch television? You'd watch it, right? And she's like, and every women back each other up on this stuff, where they're all like, no, you don't get it. It raises the value of the house. Oh, the house I'm never selling? Great. That's wonderful that it raised the house on that. So yes, so guys, you got to come to my show so I don't have to go to cruise ships anymore to pay for floors and bathrooms that I don't want.
But another thing I was going to
sorry about it. I went off on a thing.
No. But that you started like posting like your schedule.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause we've been friends for so long. Like, I'll text you and I'll be like, hey man, are you free or whatever? You know, such and such a date. And you're like, unfortunately, I'm not. Like, I was like, oh man, like you're really booked up on the road. But then I realized there's large chunks of time that you're actually in production.
Yes, on the movies.
Shooting. Yeah, for the movies, which is amazing. Like, I started a production company, but I just do road shows and then I have like a home, you know, a brick and mortar. But you created a production company and you write and then produce films. Right.
So, it actually, I was talking to a friend of mine just on the way in about like COVID. You know, when this all shut down, we all had to get creative, you know, to sort of figure it out. And I went hard into the production company end of things because I had been writing movies for other companies, and I was just like, you know what? All they are capital. They have capital, and I don't. So I went and I raised the capital. And after you sell a couple of movies, people, people want to give you money to make a movie if they think you can sell it, because movies are a sexier investment than other things. It's like a sports team. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. So here's the thing: you can't bring your mistress to your bonds. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a bunch of bonds, and you're a rich guy, you can't like go, look at all my bonds. I mean, you might, but you can bring your mistress to the set of a movie and go, look at my movie. So here's the pitch: if you are a rich businessman who has a mistress you're trying to impress, call me. I will get you a movie production, and you can bring her to the set and look cool. She's 26. She's leaving you, right? You're just a moment, all right?
jblack.tv.
jblack, JAYBLCK.tv. Email me. I can get you a movie production. But it's an easy pitch to say to somebody, hey, I have a pretty good shot of selling this thing. And if you want to invest, we can make this happen. And so far, the production company is 3 for 3. And our movie, I don't know when this is airing, but our new movie's coming out in April. And our 4th movie is being edited right now, so we're hopefully
Congrats,
that's going
man.
That's great, man. Is that the one that's coming out in April? The one with, did I see there's one with Tiffany Thiessen?
Oh, so the one with Tiffany Thiessen is not going to happen. That was a Hallmark movie that she was producing.
Poor guy was doing research.
Researching everything.
The old gooks.
Yeah. Sometimes
I remember doing one with
Google-
Al Pacino.
Yeah. It's going to be me, Martin Landau, and Alan Alda, all the sexy names. But no, so we actually, I mean, that's a movie that we worked on with Hallmark for a long time.
Okay.
And it never worked out scheduling wise. They're good people. Everybody was happy with it. It was just did not work out. But that happened. And what I learned in this business is you don't tell people what's happening because you always seem like a liar. Right. Because I remember I signed a deal to do a movie with Bruce Willis.
Jesus.
But before all the stuff. You know? It's like 2009. And I was just walking around like cock of the walk, man. I was like, I'm doing a movie with Bruce Willis. And then Cop Out came out. And it failed. And I was doing a comedy with him. And the studio was like, oh, yeah, no, Bruce Willis can't do comedy. So this is over. And then everybody's like, how about that movie with Bruce Willis? And I'm like, well, there's a lot of stuff you don't understand. Let me explain it to you. And nobody wants to hear the explanation. They just go, you're a liar, and they walk away. But yes, the Tiffany Amber Thiessen thing isn't happening.
Right on.
But we're starting a horror movie soon, which I'm very excited about. We got a lot going on.
So. And obviously the 2 that I saw on your schedule, they're not one of the 4.
No, these are new ones that we're doing.
Okay.
There's a new thriller that we're doing for Lifetime, and a horror movie that we're starting production on. I don't know how much I can say about it.
No. But
we're
you
excited.
got to keep
about
the
that.
pipeline full, and like you're always like it's like playing 9-ball, like seeing like 2 or 3 steps ahead.
Exactly.
You're like, I got this, but I got to work on that.
And when is the money coming in for this to do the next?
And also
movie?
the money.
Yeah, and you realize, because early on you're just like, your first investment meeting, you're like, I won't ask, I'll just present the stuff, and then they'll give it to me, and then they don't. So you have to, like, by the 5th one, you're just like, listen, are you going to give us the money? If you're not, then let's just end this meeting now, because I don't want to have the meeting. So you got to get it. You get aggressive, Joel. You understand?
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But with everything.
Absolutely. He's an aggressive lover. Which I prefer. He has implied consent from me.
Yeah.
I'm going to cancel myself at the end of this
Well,
podcast.
no, dude, you're one of the guys that and you have your jokes that you like to tell on stage.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have the funniest off the cuff.
I
moments.
appreciate that.
Like
Thank
when you're
you.
on stage and we were just trying to survive. It was before I started like the Dome, and I was just doing a revolving parking lot tour.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it ended up being a lot closer to this. What was it? Like an outside.
It's like a train or something, right?
No, well, the train was in Royersford, but it was what do they call like a septic tank? No, a
Sewage system
sewage
plant?
system.
Like a treatment plant.
Treatment plant.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it was the wrong windy day.
Oh,
Oh, boy,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like a couple of cars went by with a muffler, like a problem, and then like a motorcycle, and he's like, no, there's no like whatever. I think it was like no Hummers or whatever. But I was like, dude, where are we? Like,
Right, yeah.
Dude.
Well, and I found though that one of the things since COVID is my feeling on stage has shifted a lot, and I've so
living more in the moment, or
yeah. Well, it's like because I didn't know if it was coming back. We had that
couple of spikes.
the thing in March. March 2020 happens, and we're all like, we'll be done this in a few weeks.
Right.
Oh,
It'll be
and that's
fine.
what I thought.
Right, and
Yep.
you
Well,
know,
I didn't travel. I was like, no, I'm like on batters on deck circle. I'm like,
everything we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then like April dates started dropping out, and
Yeah.
then May dates, and then June dates, and then I think by May all of us were like, this could be forever.
Yeah.
This could be our forever thing. And in all seriousness, it was like scary. And then a couple of guys like you started doing these shows, and I think that show was like the summer.
it was June.
June.
Yeah.
And it was the first show I think I did since COVID, and I was so joyful to be
You
back.
forget about that interaction because Zoom shows paid a couple of bills, not really,
No.
but it's like you don't have that interaction. There's always someone eating a bowl of ice cream or soup
Right,
or whatever.
right.
And you're like,
I remember
you don't feel the energy being in the same.
I opened for Vic
different.
DiBitetto on Zoom, and love Vic. I've opened for him here. He's a great guy, and I remember I was done, and Vic hadn't come on yet, and the Zoom audience had forgotten how to like mute their microphones, and it was just old people talking about me. Like to me,
no.
Oh, no.
But it
That's
was
horrible.
it was fine.
Forgetting that you
Thank goodness.
have.
It was like, I thought he was all right. Did you think he was all right? He was all right. I want to see Vic. I don't want to see him. But as that goes, it wasn't bad. So it was like the worst kind of like, moment of hearing people's unfiltered thoughts
Right.
about you. And
But you're like, this isn't even America's Got Talent.
Right.
Like I can at least deal with it if I know there's prizes
Right.
involved
Oh,
or
boy.
a next level. If I'm going to Hollywood, I'm going to the next round.
but I'm just trying to make $175 for the heroin.
yeah. Right. Good callback, by the way.
Right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I don't make the money to do drugs. If you guys cut, here's the J Black guarantee. If
Or
we
hair
sell-
gel.
If we sell out Friday, May 12th
Friday, May 12th.
at SoulJoel's, I'm getting back on drugs. That's the J Black guarantee. And
JBlack.tv.
I'll ride that train with you, brother.
Yeah, you know what? We'll let the audience pick the drug.
Yeah.
We'll just lay it out.
Dare we say sell out 2 shows?
If we sell out 2 shows, I OD. That is the J Black guarantee. I will OD on the drug of your choice. That would be a heck of a way to end out that show, wouldn't it, Joe?
Oh my gosh.
Jay followed through. I can't believe it. You know what? I thought he was all right. I didn't like him so much, but he followed through on the drug thing. I thought that was good.
When you were at the last time I saw you, you like were dressed like this, but then all of a sudden like you were so hot that you took that off and you had a t-shirt. Has anybody ever like after a show like mistaken you for someone or didn't realize you were on the show or anything like that?
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah, I remember, and it's what I tell young comics all the time because, like, I don't know if you know this or not, Joel, but comics can be narcissistic.
You excluded.
Me excluded. I'm the best narcissist around. But they get into this thing where they think, and I think it hurts them because they worry about having fun on stage or like playing with the audience or like having fun with their set because it's like my show is the most important show.
Right.
And I always say if you can let go of the fact that it's your show and just know that it's the show,
right,
you'll open the door to having a lot more fun and being a lot more relaxed. But the door opened for me on this because I was headlining Atlantic City for the first time.
Okay.
And it was like one of the greatest moments in my life because growing up here, you still think that's a big deal.
It's a big
Right.
freaking deal.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm headlining Atlantic City at the Comedy Stop. He still owes me money. A different story, but Kev Hart. So
I want you to name names. I don't want you to name names. Too late. Okay.
yeah, no. Well, what's he gonna do? He's gonna ride a sailboat up and give me money? That's the worst that could happen.
Bob.
But I'm headlining the first time down there, and I'm excited. My family's in the showroom, and I'm waiting for them to come out. So I'm waiting there, and there's a guy next to me who has been at the show.
Okay.
And he's waiting for his family. And there's a moment, and he looks over at me, and I look over at him, and he goes, "What'd you think of the show?" And I was like, "I thought it was pretty good. What'd you think?" And he was like, "I thought it was pretty good too." He didn't know who I was. He had just looked at me. We were literally standing across a poster of me. He had just stared at me.
And by the way, this is right here.
This is here. 45 minutes.
And your headshot does look exactly like you. You're not one of those comics that gets a picture from years ago.
I'll tell you a story about that in a second. But he didn't know who I was. And that was a moment where you go like, oh, everybody's living their own life. And I'm just like providing distraction for 45 minutes. But no one's walking out of there going, that guy, oh boy. Like they don't even know who you are afterwards most times. Let's be fair. I'm the most generic white person that exists. I'm God's model 101A. When God is tired at the end of a long day and making people, he rolls me out like clay snakes. Right? I'm the clay snake of people. But I'll tell you about that picture. Okay, so I'll tell you a story. I have a headshot.
He's got the ball. Let him run.
I have a headshot from like 2008 that is like handsome Jay.
Yeah.
Handsome Jay Black. And I got this headshot because my agent, my college agent, was like, you got to look good in your headshot. And he sent me up to Woodstock, New York, to a farmhouse. And he was like, this guy like shoots actors. Like he had F. Murray Abraham.
Jeez.
He shot Amadeus's older rival, right? So I walk in. He's like this hippie guy. And we're down in his, he goes like, oh, my studio's in my basement. So we go to the basement. He's got like a pool table and a bar. And he's like, "Kch, kch." And he's like, have a drink. I'm like, "Kch, kch, have a drink. Kch." And I'm like, this is nice. And he's a good photographer. And I say this to everybody: get a good photographer to take your picture once in your life.
But why is that like that's good advice? Why that should be like known?
Right. Well, I mean, you would think, yeah, but they're expensive. It's like $500 for this picture, and I'm like, how good could it possibly? And he shows me the picture, and I'm like, oh, I'm beautiful. And I was like, is that what I look like? And I swear to God, he goes, through my lens, yes.
You're like, I haven't paid you yet,
and I'm
jerk.
like, do we fuck now? Like what? Because I will, if you want. But I had this beautiful headshot, and it's out there still. And what would happen was, the downside of it is, it's a beautiful headshot under very specific circumstances.
Yeah.
And we've already said it takes a lot of effort just to get me to a 6.5. Now I got this 9 floating around that is unattainable, right? So I would do colleges, and they would always make this giant poster of Hot J. And I would do Q&A, and it was always so disheartening because I would see them like, they'd be looking at the poster, looking at me, looking at the poster, looking at me. And the first question was always like, what happened? And I'm like, oh. And I had to tell a story about, well, that's my F. Mary Abraham headshot. I don't look like that for real. That's just how I look like in that picture. I try to the best of my ability, have headshots that look like me, because you don't want to show up and get like, oh, well, I thought you'd be
Where's
this guy.
Jay Black?
Yeah. He's underneath all this extra fat and white hair.
Well, it's funny, Alan. We have a similar story. The first couple of times that I booked him, I would happen to be at another show,
Right.
And Jay would tell who was running the show for me. He'd be like, "Tell Joel I did okay."
Yeah. I wanted him to know I do want to do a good job. Yeah. I'm going to ask him how he did after this podcast. I'm telling you now. Was that all right? And I'll say it like in a way where I don't mean it, like,
Right.
oh, I don't care. But I do care.
But you do, yeah.
I have very low self-esteem. Anyway, go on, Joel.
But then you signed your headshot that went on our wall. That like, hey, every comic that's performed here has a headshot on the wall, and everybody signs it. Some people put jokes, or some people just actually put. And he literally goes, "Tell Joel I did okay."
Oh, that's great.
If you
That's
guys,
great.
honestly, if you could tell Joel I did okay afterwards when this is done.
And that was the that was the last Friday and Saturday show that we did before COVID.
That's right.
Yeah, I still have I had the upcoming calendar, and I still have it of the upcoming comics.
No
and the
kidding.
We did one Thursday night show, but we did not do. I had Julie McCullough, who also
Oh,
another
yeah.
South Jersey guy, flew in from LA, and that's how quickly we got it shut down.
Wow.
We did one show on Thursday night in our hometown for a fundraiser, and then he had to fly back. Didn't do Friday, Saturday. Because he was like, "Hey, buddy," I go, "I think you're getting on the plane. That's what's up, buddy."
Yeah. Get this.
It all happened so quick.
Well, and I feel bad because I started COVID. And, well, I did. And I'll tell you how
I knew somehow Jay Black would still make that story.
Yeah.
But he'll bring it back.
Best of the
No.
narcissists.
Yeah.
But
Sniper, heckle, boom.
I started it, Alan, and I'll tell you how. It was because in early January of 2020, I was looking at my calendar,
Yeah.
and I said to my wife out loud, I said, "Hey, this is the best year we're ever going to have.
Oh, geez.
Look at this schedule.
Oh, my gosh.
This is the most money. I had the most money on my calendar ever." And as I said that, because I'm a Catholic and Irish, so I know that I said that out loud. And the second I did, a bat landed in Wuhan. Like, it was just like,
Yeah.
as I was saying those words, it
Happy
went
Chinese New Year. We'll see.
just like that. And I was like, oh. So Julian McCullough, I apologize. That's
Yeah.
on me.
Yeah.
I like Julian. I worked with him. He was the house MC at
Stress
Stress
Factory.
Factory back in the day.
We had him on the first episode of Bring Him Out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not the first episode? I thought I was the first episode. This is, all right, well.
You know how they say the fourth track is the best track on a CD?
Oh, yeah. I'm number 4?
We'll make you number 4.
All right. Yeah, I'll take that. That's number 4. Yeah, I can do that. Is that pizza? What is
No, it was
Bingo balls?
I wish it was. Yeah.
Are those bingo balls? Joel was doing bingo.
Residual from the blackout phase.
Yes.
What's blackout
What is
bingo?
blackout bingo?
So it was the last round, and it's got it. You have to get every square on the board.
Okay.
To black out the screen. That's how you get bingo.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, some of them were diamond, and I really confused people. Like, they looked at me like, "What's it?" And I'm like, "Oh," and then I had to have it on the screen to like show them. I'm like,
What is it with old people in bingo, Joel? Why do
"Dude,
they like
I don't
it
know."
so
And
much?
it's all women.
Yeah, what is it? Is it that you just get old and you feel like, oh, now it's my turn?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
that's
there's something
I'm
to
over
that.
60. This is what I do
right.
now.
Because I'll see those guys at the 7-Eleven, sponsor the podcast 7-Eleven. And they'll be in front of me and they'll be picking out their lottery numbers, and I'll loudly tell my children, "You're better off setting your money on fire." Like, because at least you get a show.
Passive aggressively loud.
Oh, always. I am always passive aggressively. You're better. That's what dumb people who don't know about math, they buy the lottery ticket. Don't ever do that, or you're disowned. You can be any gender you want, but if you buy a lottery ticket, you're out of my house. That's it. That's my one rule.
Which ironically,
I love that.
you're allowing your son to follow in your footsteps.
Oh yeah, he comes with me, and he does stand up from time to time.
Yeah.
And he also is learning the accordion, which is the stand up of music instruments.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah,
Love that.
He's a big Weird Al guy.
Really?
Yeah, he fell down.
I
the
love
Weird
this
Al
kid
train.
already.
Yeah. Well, and he'll say, like, I'll say, why the accordion? He's like, best way to meet girls. And I'm like, really? And he's like, no, of course not. But yeah, he plays the accordion, and hey, I'll
So
tell you
awesome.
what, J Black guarantee. We sell out May 12th. My son will come and play the accordion to open the show, if that's okay by you.
Dude, I mean, I might buy 20 tickets
Yeah.
myself.
Right. So here's the thing. If we sell out, my son will play. I will get back on drugs. If we sell out 2 shows,
Yeah.
my son will play. I will OD. If we sell out 3 shows,
Oh, boy.
my son will OD. That is the J Black. I'm only joking. He doesn't even do drugs. That I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no. If we sell out 3 shows, though,
That'd be fun.
I mean, I'll get. You know what I'll do? I'll get one of those a devil horn implants that people do. We'll do that on stage, Joel. We sell out 3 shows. Let's get a guy that does implants, and I get devil horn implants.
You know what's funny though too? You've been a regular on WIP.
Oh yeah,
With
Angela Cataldi.
And the new
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. I don't know if I should plug the podcast right after guaranteeing my son will OD on drugs. But
perfect segment.
everybody, I'm hanging out with friends, so we joke more. I'm gonna get kids, but yeah. So Angelo and I do a TV podcast that comes out every Thursday. It's called The TV Show. We charted on the TV and film podcast. We were 126.
Beautiful.
Last week. So
It's a great podcast. I watch a bunch of episodes.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
and
that.
Rhea's
Thank you.
on it too.
Rhea Hughes is on that, and yeah, we do it every. We recorded today, which is a Wednesday. It drops on Thursdays, and it's really starting to pick up steam. We're on Philly Voice now. We're being hosted on Philly Voice.
It's great, man.
So
it's a really good podcast.
I
It really
appreciate
is.
that,
Because
yeah.
I was like, I'm going to watch one, because I'm doing this thing with Jay, and then I ended up watching like 8 of them because I liked it so much.
Oh, cool.
I appreciate that. Well, Angelo is like that guy. For as much as you say you like sports, he loves television like 10 times more.
Big time,
And
yeah.
it's like he was watching 9 hours a day when he was working. Now that he's retired, I mean, the guy, anything. If you tell him any show, he'll watch it, and he is just knowledgeable about it. And just like on the radio, all you have to do is give him a topic and sit back
he
and let him
goes.
go.
Well, I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say,
great.
regardless of how many tickets we sold, like I would get text messages right away. Like I didn't even know you were gonna go on and plug the show.
Right.
And people are like, dude, Jay Black's on WIP. Plug in SoulJoel.
Yeah,
I go,
always.
oh, that's awesome. I go, what a great way to wake up on a Friday morning. I had no idea.
Right.
So cool,
But
man.
like the reach, and that's like
That more than any other thing that I ever did doing WIP, people would come up to me. Even if I was like doing a cruise ship,
Yeah.
like people would come up, like I'd be in Mexico, and they'd be like, "WIP guy, right?" And I'm like,
Wow.
yeah. So I did that show for I think like 13 years.
That's amazing. Man.
And more than anything else, anywhere I go in this area, they'll like if you're a sports fan, you're kind of like, you do the TV thing on WIP, and it was actually the thing that made my dad okay with stand up, because
It legitimized it for
well,
him.
he
'cause
was
is he a sports guy?
He was a huge sports guy. He was an economics major. I was going to be an economics major, and then my first day, I read a book. In my first economics class, and the guy in the book was like, I studied art history in college, so I just figure you get 4 years to study what you want. I was like, oh. I closed the book and I went and I changed my major to English.
Nice.
And my dad was like, what? You can't be poetry interpreter at a big company. Like, what the hell are you going to do? It's like, get a teaching degree. So I got a teaching degree. Then I got tenured. I was a tenured
wow.
teacher. You could murder
you still
a
dress like
student.
you're a professor.
That's right. I look like the professor you shouldn't be alone in a room with.
Which, by the way, cum joke is coming. Yeah. Hang in there. Hang in there. Don't you go.
I can't do the cum joke now. I talked about my podcast. And my dad's up in heaven going, he's doing cum jokes? What's going He's talking about me, and then it's so I was like, hey Dad, guess what? The teaching degree that I'm tenured.
Yeah.
I'm leaving to go talk about my penis on stage to strangers, and he was very dubious of all of that. It didn't matter what I was doing. I got like a Showtime spot. White Boys in the Hood sounds made up. It isn't.
Clearly.
Yeah. Did I tell you my White Boys in the Hood story?
No.
I'll tell you that in a
No.
second. All right. So
You keep teasing it.
all
these stories.
My dad.
LeBron's got the.
Right. It wasn't until my dad, when I said to my dad I was doing Angelo's show every week, that he was like, oh, well, I guess you've made it.
That's a cool thing.
No, so that
That's
was the
such a
moment.
cool
That was
thing.
the moment where my dad was like, oh, okay, you got this. And I was like, because he was such an Angelo fan, that Angelo gave me the nod was a big thing
That's
for my dad.
so cool,
yeah.
man.
Now, were you married when you made the leap?
Oh yeah. Oh my
Really?
wife
Okay.
does not like any of this.
But you in that sense, like you had security because like when I did it,
Yeah.
like I walked away similar like a corporate America. I was pharmaceutical
Right.
sales, but I'm not married, no kids.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
So they were like,
Joel, I turned in my resignation.
Yeah.
In January of 2007.
Okay.
And my wife had a positive pregnancy test in late January of 2007. So I've had a stomach ache for 15 years. That my wife came in and was like, "Oh, Jay, look at this," and I was like, "Oh no!"
Wow. There's some
timing is
timing.
everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If that had reversed, I would not be here right now.
Yeah,
I would
right,
still
right.
be teaching because I would have never had the guts to go do it because
so was that kid number one?
kid number one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've only planned one of my 3 children. Yeah, I always say to them, like my middle one, I'm like, we won it. The other 2 were just whoopsie.
Yeah. We caught an audible in the huddle.
Yeah, we were there. It's like, oh, come on. This is, yeah, you know. But so White Boys in the Hood. White Boys in the Hood sounds like a racist thing I just made up. It's not. One of P. Diddy's underlings made a TV show. It was produced by P. Diddy. It was for Showtime. It was all white comedians in front of an all black audience.
No kidding.
Right. So it's real.
That part I didn't know.
Yeah, you get a DVD.
I
of it.
thought you were that show's token.
No. It was all white comedians.
Hence the name. I'm an idiot.
So, well, here's the thing. You're not an idiot. Look at your success. Look at this picture. Would an idiot have his own picture?
Yeah. A narcissist would.
This is where
And does.
this is where I'm coming.
Yeah.
Right.
So, we I'm bringing this is my I get to bring this home. So I get the show, and I'm all excited about it. They send a limo to pick you up because it's a TV show. It's in New York. It's the John Jay Theater. I'm going in, and Vinny Nardiello.
Okay,
who
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Shout out to Vinny.
He's a good friend of mine. He calls me up, and he talks like this, but he goes, "Hey, just out of curiosity, do you think it's one of these shows where, like, you know how black people get if they don't like you, like Showtime at the Apollo, like they're going to be mean to you?" And I was like, "Well, I wasn't thinking that until literally right now, and now my stomach drops because I'm thinking
no.
I'm going to do great.
Yeah.
But now, what if black people don't like me?"
Now, are you in the limo or not yet?
I'm in the limo.
Okay.
On
okay,
the way.
Okay.
And I'm like-
and you're like, you talk to your life coach, the pep talk from Vinny.
Yeah, but never, guys.
Worst
Jay
pep
Black
talk
guarantee. Never talk to Vinny Nardiello. So I get there, and we have 4 hours to kill. And they have a camera. Rich Voss is running the backstage stuff.
Oh, wow, okay.
And nobody wants to talk because they're all comedians and they're
Yeah.
all like in their head. But I see a camera, like
Yeah.
hey, shtick. So I'm like, doing shtick. I'm like going around.
Yeah, 4 hours. I'll wear this
jabbing.
voice box out.
Right. And my manager at the time had to go over and go, "You have to turn the camera off. He's going to die." Because he's not going to stop. And I'm like, "There's a camera. I got to be funny."
Did you get any good outtakes out of it?
Oh, yeah. They used me. Like, I did like 15.
So it did pay off.
Yeah. Well, there's 15 minutes of me talking about P. Diddy's shoes. Because they have like
No.
they had like white shoes that they were giving away.
Yeah. You're like, not after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I wished I did. If I could go back in time, number one, kill baby Hitler. That's number one. But
no.
number 2,
Yeah.
tell my younger self do the Labor Day joke.
Wait, so do you do that like a maniac? Like watch yourself, be like, I wish I would have said this. I wish I
no,
said
yeah, that's why I can't watch myself.
Right,
Because
okay,
the whole
okay.
time it's just I'm
Yeah.
running through.
I'm a maniac.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and I'm remembering the time, and I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, don't. So anyway, Screech is there.
Oh, wow.
Rest in peace.
Okay.
Rest in power, King. So
You're such a dick.
I liked him. Screech and I got along just fine.
Yeah.
But he's there.
not the way you use your words. Well, he majored in English.
So we all had like 8 minutes to do our shtick. Right?
Okay.
But Screech is
And as a headliner, that's not a long time.
No,
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
Like you're
long at all.
barely able to say hello.
Right, yeah. So Screech is like, his manager is like, really, Screech needs 12. Screech can't do 8. He's a storyteller.
Is his manager
And
who I think it is?
Does his name start with an R?
Oh God, I don't want you to do that. Yes.
Yeah. So he's going, we need Screech.
We'll edit this in post.
Yeah. We need 12 minutes.
Jesus,
for
he's not dead.
12 minutes
Yeah.
for Screech.
12 minutes for Screech.
Oh my
and
God.
and I'm
can't
sitting
believe
there,
he just did that.
and I'm a young man, a young comic going, oh, Screech, he's probably got like a pretty tight 12. He's arguing for 12 here. So I remember there was doing 10 comics that day, and Screech was 3, I was 4.
Oh.
4.
Oh, get out of here. Oh, this is
See?
it.
This is it. So I watched Screech go out, and they go nuts because it's Screech. It's like, Screech, are we going to see Screech? Fucking Screech. And then Screech proceeds to fail so miserably, they cut him from the show.
Oh, wow.
They had Screech. They cut his set from the show because his entire 12 minutes was about a developmentally disabled young man falling down a flight of steps. Although he did not use the words developmentally disabled.
Right.
He used a much more inappropriate word that also starts with an R.
I knew you were going to do that. It all came. Oh, what a beautifully. Oh,
The
dude.
man is a pro.
Mwah.
So Screech
Oh, no.
Screech fails, and they're silent, and the ones that aren't silent are booing.
Oh, God.
And Screech walks off.
Oh, and you have to follow this.
And I'm like, oh no, Vinny's words are coming true. So I walk out and I begin to do my act. And not only are they not laughing, they're looking at each other like this. And I'm like, am I so white that black people can't even understand the words that are exiting my mouth? And after about a minute, Talent, you know Talent?
Yeah.
Talent's the MC. And he
His
says,
son's a comic now.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. And he walks out and he goes, yo, man, cut it. And I'm like, they let Screech finish. And he goes, your mic was dead. They couldn't hear you.
Oh, my God.
He hands me a new mic and he's like, you're going to have to start over. And this is that moment, and I tell young comics this all the time. I have been doing Bix gigs. Rest in power, King. Steve Bix. The
King of Pennsylvania
The King of
comedy.
Pennsylvania. Eagles Aries.
Yeah.
Moose Lodges.
Yeah.
The places.
He had it on lock.
Oh, he had it on lock. But the places where I'm coming in as a part-time comedian, I'm the teacher, so I'm coming in like in sweater vests and khakis, where I'm getting called, gay slurs before I get to the stage.
Yeah.
Like
Fair.
awful, rotten, just deep Pennsylvania, the worst of the worst, right? And but those gigs are what give you the moment, because I don't know how to do a gig in front of 1,000 people at a beautiful theater, but I know how to do a shitty gig with no mic.
Right.
So
Giannis Papas called those gigs that I booked years ago ninja training.
Ninja, exactly.
It gets you ready for
Perfect.
a moment like this.
Right. So I'm
Not
like
this.
but it's
Young boy.
it's
Black-
perfect.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's White Boys in the Hood. So they give me the microphone and I'm like, motherfucking oh, no, they give me the microphone and my words were, well, they told me it'd be ghetto, and the place goes like never like.
Shut up. Yeah.
And I was like, listen, motherfucking Showtime can't get a 9-volt battery into a goddamn microphone. Fuck these people. This is my first time on TV. When I walk out, you better laugh like this is the best shit you've ever seen. So I walk back out. Talent reintroduces me, and if you watch the show,
But could the audience could hear
they
that?
could hear me on the mic because they hand me the new mic.
Oh,
so I
shit.
do that rant, and I walk off. When I walk back on, it's like they're making fun of me. They're laughing so hard. They're like they're big superstars.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, they probably laughed over the punchline. You're like, simmer it down. We're not going to be able to record this.
100%. You see me at one point go
Yeah, please.
like this.
It's a little too much for my ego.
So I get done, standing ovation.
Rest in
Wow.
peace, King.
Beautiful.
Right. It's a beautiful moment. So I'm like, all right. And I watch the show. And there's like, when the show comes out, there's like 4 or 5 other people that get standing ovations.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice too. But here's the thing. Follow-up to this story. Sequel to it. My father was in the audience. Okay? Now, you're not supposed to leave a TV taping so they can have continuity. But my dad had no interest in staying past my set. Oh, no. So, and the story that I was told, because he was there with my sister-in-law, was that he got up to leave, and the usher said, you can't leave. And my dad's response was, I was in the Navy. I can leave. I don't know how.
What?
I don't know. In his mind, being in the Navy gives him the right to leave.
served this country,
I
damn it.
served this country. I was a typist in Reykjavik.
I'm about to flee like France.
He retired like the marginal one. So if he leaves. So I'm watching the other standing ovations. Joel, I see black guy, black guy, black guy, fat white guy, black guy, black guy, black guy. My dad was in every one of those other standing ovations. They reused my standing ovation on every other one. So if you watch, you're not watching White Boys in the Hood, but if you buy the DVD collection of White Boys in the Hood for $1 on eBay while drunk, you see that standing ovation, know in your hearts, Jay Black.
Yeah.
It was his.
Two things we're going to do. We're selling out May 12th.
3 shows.
3 shows. Jay Black headlining at SoulJoel's. And the stock and DVDs of White Boys in the Hood just are going to be just sold out of eBay. Sold out. Not available. Not existent.
Gone forever, man.
I want them to sell out so fast that an alert goes off. At
Trending
eBay.
on Twitter.
Yeah, eBay HQ, someone goes, there's something wrong.
Something's happening
I don't know what just
The
happened.
White Boy DVDs are spiking, sir. I don't know what's happening. We got to shut the whole thing down. It's like one of those. It's like one of those movies where you see the map of the United States, and it's like, if they keep buying White Boy in the Hood DVDs at this rate, by 48 hours later, it'll look like this, and it's all red. It's like, my God.
Now, hypothetically speaking, well, actually not hypothetically, would like Dustin Diamond, Screech.
Yeah.
Now he got cut.
Yes.
Probably most likely did not get paid for that appearance.
Oh no, he got paid. Yeah.
So he still got paid even though he didn't air.
No, you got paid to be there.
So a lot of people don't know how that the back ending of inner workings of that happened.
Right, and none of us, I think, signed like a residual thing. So like,
You were happy to be there.
Right, and even if you do a union gig, which this wasn't, you'll get paid. Like Marlon Wayans was going to be Robin in Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And they cut him at the last second, but he still gets residuals from Batman Forever.
No
because
kidding.
That was a union gig. So
Wow, fascinating.
My dream in life is to get a union gig that I'm cut from.
Yes.
So that I can not be in the movie, but still
And
make
still
money
cash
from
the
it.
checks. Yeah, nice.
It would be the ideal thing. I want to be Marlon Wayans. The Jay Black. If we sell out 4 shows, I will get surgery to look. No, I can't. No, that's too far. That's just, people are going to be like, I was with him when he was going to make his son OD. But looking like Marlon Wayans.
Now we're just getting crazy.
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
We need those old 90s
Where are
holding
we at
deals,
time?
huh?
Did we fill an hour already?
I have no
feel
idea.
Like we're going quick here.
50, yeah.
Let's do another 2 hours.
Yeah, let's make it like a Rogan.
I thought you were gonna drop it at 10. You're like, well, I don't care about that extra 10 minutes. Sell out the 5th show.
Yeah.
And I'll come back and owe you 10.
You know what? We need to give him something. If we sell out 5 shows, like if we have 5 shows that night, think about it. We would go to 4 a.m.
It'd be awesome.
I'll
do it.
Listen, I was joking about drugs, but I'd have to be on drugs to get through
Right.
5 shows. It would just be me up there going, I don't.
5
guys-
shows. I'm guessing it's gonna be an upper.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, better be.
Is there any other drug? Upper. It's I was addicted to Adderall for a while.
Well, I didn't want to bring it up, but
Oh, well, listen. I bring it up because I'm hoping these guys have some. No.
no.
It'd be great. How was the podcast, Jay? It was great. It fell off the wagon. Let's go do some stuff.
Yeah, we did 50 minutes on the podcast, and I got home in 15.
Yeah, I drove home in 15 minutes, and now I'm coloring.
Yeah. Zippity dood, I'll write down 76.
I've written 3 screenplays. They're all great. Yeah. But I don't understand people that do downers because uppers are just lovely. And people be like, "Well, you're off them now," and I'm like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Do you miss it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Because they were great. That's why drugs are great.
Right.
That's why people do
That's why
them.
we do
Those
them,
are
yes.
wonderful. Now, I won't do them ever again, but they were lovely while they were
We had a good run.
A great run. I had a great run. I was, what was interesting is looking back at that time though. Number one, I wasn't a great person, but number two, like watching myself on stage in those moments, I was disconnected from the audience, and it was this weird thing of like some of my biggest killing was during that time, but my most anger, like if I got a heckler, I was just like I would just go at them till they walked, and that's not like me.
Yeah.
Like I get a heckler now, I'm kind of like, oh, this is fun, this is cute. Let's don't heckle me at my show though. I'm still from Philly, or South Jersey, but you know.
Yeah.
But like I was not the kind of person that I was subsequently and previously on stage during that time. And it's weird that you don't feel it in the moment, because in the moment you're just like, I am so focused, I am ready to go, I'm doing this. And looking back, you're like, what? I did 112 minutes in 41. Like just your you're not like waiting for the audience, and you're no connection at all. I wasn't connected to people very well then. So kids don't do drugs.
Speed sucks for musicians, man. Like, at least for me.
Well, that's my whole point of view is only do drugs that good albums were written on. That is your rule of thumb.
Yeah.
No one has written a good album on speed.
Hence heroin.
Right. Yeah.
Miles Davis. The entire fusion era.
Okay, I might have to adjust. I was going to say pot and mushrooms are good, but yeah, don't do heroin.
No, don't do heroin unless you're Miles Davis.
Yeah.
Or Jerry Garcia.
Listen, maybe don't do any drugs. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about drugs on a podcast.
So you know what's so funny? I want to just bring this up real quick. You're talking about going and doing 120 minutes in 40.
Yeah.
My biggest bomb wasn't even in comedy. I went back to my hometown, and I had done like a cyberbullying, like motivational speaking, like segment.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Pro or anti? You never know. Like, I don't know if you were like the like.
What was your stance? Just give me the cliff notes.
That's my favorite joke when I'm doing a charity. Where I go, oh, this is a cancer charity. Are we pro? Against?
Oh.
I just want to know where we're at on it. Anyway,
But I was supposed to go the whole period. For it was high school. I went back to my hometown in my high school, and it was supposed to be 50 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I was so nervous about doing well.
Oh boy, yeah.
That I went through it in 25.
Whoa.
Right.
And then I had to fill the rest of the time.
start
And
doing
I
your
had
act,
already
or what'd you
gone
do?
through like, are there any questions?
Yeah, right.
Like, please.
Yeah.
Are there any questions?
Yeah. Then at the end, it was like we ended up like finishing 10 minutes early. I filled 15. It was so bad that the lady that hired me, who wasn't even my teacher when I was in high school,
Right.
she was like, "Are you prepared?" Man, it hurt.
That
Bad.
woman was so anti. She started to cyberbully you.
Yeah.
She called you, don't listen to Joe. Joe sucks. Yeah. I'm not a fan of his.
It's like, what happened?
I got invited to my 10-year reunion to do stand-up. And I agreed.
Oh, wow.
Because, and I had.
So you weren't gonna go, but then we'll pay you, and you're like, I'll show up.
So this was early on. So hang on, I graduated in 91st, 2004. So I was 3 years away from going full time. I was only 2 years into my stand-up career, and I was like, well, I've emceed the Comedy Cabaret. I think I know what I'm doing. So I went, and I don't know if there's like eating shit is a good description of this, because even eating shit implies you did something proactively.
Right.
This was the worst. Like, people were just having full-on conversations. Wow. And you could just see the dream of like showing them all disappeared. Oh. Right. Just in that moment. It was just awful. But then my 20 year, they called me, and I had the greatest conversation I ever had in my life, because they were like, hey Jay, we're not selling tickets for the 20 year. Or 25 year. 25 year. We're not selling tickets for the 25 year, but we think maybe if you do comedy, we could sell more tickets, because we could tell people that you're doing it. Because I established it when I'm doing WIP.
Yeah.
People know me.
Right.
And I was like, I'm booked. However, could you just repeat again that more people might come to a high school party if I'm there? Because maybe if you do, it'll reverberate back through time, and 14-year-old me will hear that and go, "Oh, it's going to get okay."
Right.
All right. It'll be all right.
Oh.
And maybe also, could you please mention the joke that you said earlier?
Oh, the cum joke.
No, not
No,
the
no,
cum
no.
joke.
After Labor Day. Right after Labor Day.
So could you also mention the after Labor Day joke, so that young Jay knows the after Labor Day? Well, really, you should.
What am I doing?
Really, honestly, we can
He
combine.
couldn't wait to get back to the cum.
We can combine the two. Joel, I
Settle
will
down.
not come on you
Oh, jeez.
after Labor Day,
Yeah.
because
That's why he got into producing and writing movies. He's able to tie it all together. This just
I don't want you-
nothing to do with anything, and he put it all in one place.
That's why porn stars are not invited to society parties. We can't invite her. She wears white after Labor Day.
But you probably, to your high school classmates, you probably said to them what you say to me or any other person that tries to book you. You're like, but thanks for thinking of me.
Oh yeah, I always say thanks for. I'm very polite, Joel.
Very polite. Did you say that to?
No, I think I was just vibrating with happiness because I was like, they invited me to a party. They wanted me there, but I can't go. I got other things to do. I had to go to the Brouhaha in Connecticut, so I was doing pretty well.
Damn right.
Can't cancel on them.
That's $600 in a basement. I can't give that up.
No. Unfortunately, bad timing.
Yeah, it was rough, but I think I'm going to go to my 30 year.
You are?
Yeah, because I still have all my hair, and I just want to go.
That puts you above.
It really does. I just want to go.
Yeah.
I might grow it out. I might do a Thor.
That 6.5 goes.
Oh yeah, just walking around going, look at, oh my goodness, look at all of this, and look, I have health insurance. Just do this and all those.
What have you been doing all these years? Well, let me think.
Well, it's like I tell my kids, my son, I say like, listen, a girl might reject you, and if she does, what you do is you just go up and you whisper, tick tock, and she won't get it, but at your 30 year, you can go, see.
Guys, for Jay Black, Alan Hill, this has been Bring 'em Out. Friday, May 12th. Go to souljoels.com to get tickets. And we want to thank Jay Black for being the 4th guest.
Was that okay?
4th episode.
Was that okay?
That's going to be the name of the episode.
Was that all right?